What's up, guys? Here we go into a little breakdown of Gabe Eurit here, who is a Fouts boxing student's student. He trains with Rowdy Gowdy here. Right away, we notice his opponent getting on the line, and as his opponent gets on the line, he tries to make this attack that easily gets kind of pull countered and walked into a shot. But we're going to notice that Gabe has an excellent understanding of the line. Okay, he's going to be playing on the line very well. I have a series of sparring games that I teach people to fight, and you'll see that he's actually pretty good at a lot of these games here. Beautiful shot. Now, pay attention, okay, as we watch his opponent approach the line. He's on the back foot here, and then he goes to the front foot, back foot, and when he gets to the front foot, his lead hand starts coming with the momentum, and as it gets here, boom, he's trying to catch it, slip to the inside, and then throw a counter here. But almost every time Bashir gets on the line, when he gets his momentum there, lead hand comes out, lead hand pumps out, he's pulling that lead hand control and then countering here, giving it a threatening look, right? Even when Bashir just wants to control space, right? Notice he's just trying to control a little bit of space with that lead hand, and Eurit is still throwing his little pull counter, meaning that it's going to be dangerous for Bashir to control space, even if he doesn't mean to score. Now, he gets control of him, he pull counters, gets control of him, winds up on the line after getting control of the line, and then shifting forward, and while his opponent is out of position, countering over the top. Very good work here. Even if it's ugly, this is beautiful work here, understanding that the scramble is still part of the fight. Okay, it's not over. Just because you guys are both out of position, because you guys both exerted each other, the first guy to get reset and planted is going to be able to get back to the line and start making attacks. He's going to be able to figure out where he is. Okay, and this is very important for the end of the fight as well. But there's also a point where if your opponent is expecting a single punch and you throw multiple punches in a row, right? If you've been controlling space with one punch at a time, right? So he's throwing a bunch of twos and then they end them, right? Your follow-up shots will be mostly safe because your opponent won't be predicting that you'll have a counter, a follow-up, or a combination, right? Now, getting on the line, and again, when Bashir gets on the line here, front foot, pendulum, front foot, comes in with the hook, easily blocked and interacted with, and then countered. It does look like Bashir gets him and comes in with a shot just before he makes his counter. But again, you can see Eurit with an excellent control of the line, right? Understanding where the line is, crossing the line here, taking a nice big step to get to the outside of the head here before he pivots, right? So he's safe, jumping on the line with a one elbow. Very interesting little technique. And again, crossing the line, look at his active guard on the outside. His opponent just doesn't know where to interact with him. See, notice he goes to this side. He's like, oh, I'm going to get him here. No, I'm going to get him here, here. And then now as he crosses the line here, he's going to get to that position where his opponent is normally like, oh, this is the time. He's in the range. And he starts coming forward. But because Eurit is in momentum, right, because he has his active guard going, by the time Bashir recognizes what position he's in and makes an attack, he's able to use his momentum just to get off the line. You know, and it doesn't look like a lot, right? But you can see his active guard. He's trying to get on the line with him, but he can't find him, right? And then again, he keeps following his way to the back leg here. Catch, block, and then counter. This is just absolutely beautiful boxing here. Boom. Beautiful. Catching the jab, blocking the rear hand and getting under, and then coming up with a counter here and a counter. Two-punch combination. Absolute classic Fouts boxing techniques. Beautiful work here. Moving around, and excellent work, right? We don't just practice all the shifting and moving around for no reason. His opponent's trying to put pressure on him, gives him a feint here, gives him a shift, and now he moves back, and now he's super far away from the guy, and he didn't even have to pendulum step, right? He wasn't able to use the jab to control space and push Gabe off the line and then use the double jab to put pressure because he shifted and got so far away from him, right? The guy's just, lost. Now again, coming in, getting under that shot, and even if it's a little bit ugly, right? Even if it's a little bit ugly, his opponent comes in, pendulum, trying to get under, right? Jab, pendulum's in with the elbow, he gets under here. And notice some very common flaws, right? When Eurit when Bashir is throwing punches at Eurit, he's pulling, right? He's getting under, right? And then coming up with punches. And when punches are coming at Bashir, he doesn't, after throwing his own punches, get under, get down, right? He stays very stand up and straight, very tall like this. It's going to be a big problem for him later. Now, going back to this, okay, so he gets on the line. He's going to exert himself a little bit. Yeah! And he threw a hard shot, and now all of his momentum and his weight, because he put a real big heavy strike onto the line that completely missed. He bounces off of Eurit. Eurit controls him with his bump, and then follows up with a combination. Boom, boom. Excellent, excellent work. Boom, boom. Controls him. And now, this is a very, very, very important part of the fight here, okay? A lot of things can happen, okay? I want you to pay attention to the fact that Bashir is, at the moment, throwing a counter in between the pause that Eurit gave him, right? So let's go back and talk about that pause. So there's a pause in between where there was a strike and there was the offense of Bashir into Eurit's defense. Boom, and now they're off balance. He's going to be the first one to get planted. Boom, he's planted. Strike, strike. And now he's going to be off balance himself. Bashir hasn't gotten planted or gotten restructured since doing his elbow attack yet. His footwork is still off. So he's going to move off the line. Here's the beat here, right? Look at the position that Bashir is in. His back foot is on the ground. His front heel is on the ground. That means, in theory, he's a southpaw right now. He's in position 1, okay, or position 2. He could be in position 1, but he's planted now. But notice, again, he's not coiled. He's not down. Right? He's not going to take advantage of this beat on his defense. He didn't get coiled. He's very tall, but he's still planted, which means in theory he's ready to strike. And then boom, boom, he gets controlled by Gabe. So that's 2 sequences in a row where Bashir did nothing and allowed Eurit to follow up. Now he controls him after doing his follow-up, and then now there's a punch. So he's finally gotten planted. He's finally striking, and now he's finally taking some control of the space, which tells Eurit, okay, it's not time to finish yet. He's not ready. And he kind of got hit by that shot too, right? So when he stops taking advantage of the space, right? When Eurit is able to put enough pressure, boom, boom, and then pull and shift on him, or boom, boom, and then bump him, or boom, boom, and then keep the pressure on him by keep coming forward and not letting him rest. When punches aren't coming back in those beats and he's not controlling space in between Eurit's attacks, that means he's going to be ready to be done. He's ready to be finished here, okay? Not here, but we'll talk about it. Now, very important, right? Circling. He's not just going to sit on the guy's line and challenge him straight up. He still wants to find some type of advantage. So he makes the guy walk to him, right? The guy takes a step on the line, and notice, as Bashir is taking a step on the line, Gabe is getting lead foot dominance, getting under the possible strike of the lead foot, because as the lead foot comes down, that's when a jab or an attack might be coming. It's as close to that beat as possible. So he's already moving his head outside of Bashir's feet. So he's already completely unable to be hit, and then gets a free punch here. Now Bashir freaks out, throws a punch, and it's nowhere near Gabe's head here. He's already moved his head to the outside. And now, very, very dangerous peel right there. It's not the greatest peel, but decent enough, right? Stealing a shot as he's circling, and it didn't even take that long for him to find it. Right? Again, circling, stepping around, and again, his opponent taking that step on the front foot, and he goes to meet him, times him with the lead foot dominance, and then instead of going to the body here, whacks him in the head. Some beautiful boxing here. And again, watch Bashir's front foot. He does a huge pendulum step here, front foot, back foot, and now he's taking a step on the front foot, and Gabe pendulums into that shot, gives him a control, and then that jab control looks like it was going to be a jab to the body, elicits a response from Bashir as he looks to interact with Eurit to stop him from crossing the line, but the whole thing was a bait, and he's able to cross the line with the shot here, landing a decent shot. It's not the greatest shot landed, but the setup is amazing, right? And again, this kind of stuff is going to keep putting pressure on Bashir. It's going to take more of his tools away, because he's going to find less and less ways that he normally safely gets on the line with his opponent. Now getting back to the control, and his opponent does anything in front of him, right? Like control, ha, okay, I'll just move off the line. You're going to do a thing right there? Silly. Little fake moves right there. Controlling the lead hand. If you have control of the lead hand, you're going to wait for the rear hand to come. Here comes the rear hand, and he's pulling. You can see him getting down as well, pulling his weight toward his back leg and getting down at the same time. Again, pull counters, you want to pull down and then coming back up with the shot. Oh, man, I didn't even know he was going to get him with a pull counter. But the shot doesn't even come from Eurit. Again, he uses his weight, control, pull, and he's pulling away from that shot. But Bashir still transitioned his weight. He still changed position, and then he just gets caught right there. He's just not fast enough getting out of that position after doing his feint. Just like when he came in with the elbow, right? When he came in and lunged in with the elbow, whoosh, his weight kind of comes forward, and now he's just getting cracked by a very, very, very classic pull counter move here from Eurit. Excellent, excellent work. Now, another great move here from Eurit. It's not the cleanest, but Bashir gets on the back foot, front foot. He tries to take a step. He's walking onto the line. The rear hand comes. His block is not super tight. Notice his hand is on the top of his head. It's not a great block. We can see there's lots of holes there. But it winds up getting on the inside here. But he sees it coming. He's rolling with it. And then he can kind of come back with shots right after. Again, still seeing the shots coming, even though that shot kind of snuck through a little bit. Now, gets on the line, crosses the line, boom. Very, very classic 1-2 style here. And the first one is a feint. Bah! And then again, he gets him to counter the feinting move. And then he moves his head off the line and whacks him again. Very classic 1-2 style training there. And again, dominating this guy on the line, right? This guy can't even find him. Throws the right hand, pull, boom. And again, beautiful, beautiful work here. Control, here comes the 2. Almost a good block. Again, his block's not the greatest, the way that he's looking to his hand position and stuff. But the fact that he's controlling the line well enough, he sees the guy's weight coming and can counter him so easily. Beautiful work. Beautiful as well. Sees his weight coming again, and I just want you to pay attention to this. Excellent, excellent work. Bashir comes forward, feint, and then off of that feint, he's got the rear hand right here. And again, I don't know what Bashir is doing, okay, because he's made multiple feints against him, and then when he feints, he's not actually prepared for anything coming back. So he feints him, and then he gets a jab catch, and then a left hook counter response, but he had no preparation off of his feint, right? He just jumped on the line. I don't know if you guys remember, and real quick, this will be a good opportunity to talk about it too. There was Tevin Farmer fought Floyd Schofield, and I talked about my prediction, and there are a lot of fighters that'll feint and they'll check the line with their face, right? They won't put their hand up. They'll just feint real fast, like that. Tevin Farmer does that a lot. And I said that Floyd Schofield, when he sees that feint coming, when he sees it, he should just immediately throw a stepping 1-2, boom, boom, and knock him out. And that's exactly what he did, okay? Now, the reason that I bring that up is because Floyd Schofield also recently pulled out of his fight with Jojo Diaz because he had a problem with his hand, with his wrist. Now, I teach a very, very, very specific power punching drill and technique that's going to put a lot of massive damage on your wrist. It's going to teach you how to get stronger, teach you how to generate snap and power and speed in your striking. I'm the first coach in history to be able to figure all this stuff out. Exactly how power punching works. Okay, I'm the first person in history to teach crossing the line when you throw a punch, right? I know people teach that. It's very common now, but that's my theory, okay? That you have to move your head across the line in order to throw a punch from one side to the other. Transition your weight from one side of your body to the other. Change positions, okay? Cross the line, transition your weight, change positions. I also have a number of other striking techniques, okay? If you're interested in just a striking program, I've got a 1-hour program that I teach a guy. You can watch the whole lesson straight through, but it's also broken down so you can watch it in pieces. It's $150. It's the first lesson I'll give anybody for striking. You just want to do that lesson every day, and eventually you're going to become a great striker, okay? Exaggerate all the things in it as much as you can, but the other program that I sell, weaponizing the 1-inch punch for boxing. It's going to teach you some of the similar stuff for striking. It's going to teach you the Big George drill, but it's also going to teach you how to weaponize this and also how to not just throw your best punch and increase the power of your best punch, not just teach you to throw the best punch you can throw and then teach you how to improve it like all the pros like Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, Terrence Crawford. But I'm also going to teach you how to do the things that Eurit here is doing, getting on the line, being able to transition your weight, having a nice set of patterns so that you know how to move around and circle and step around in ways that are not contradictory to the way punching power works. Okay? Punching power works very, very, very particular. I have some video series and I talk about 2-foot punching, how you have to use both of your feet. And if your coach is teaching you how to do things and he's not teaching you what to do with both of your feet at all times, he's not teaching you how to punch hard, okay? Why was I talking about that stuff, Floyd Schofield? Oh, so he pulled out of the fight because he's doing my big George Strobe. He's getting his man strength. But this guy is 100% using my stuff. It's guaranteed that he's following along with my channel. Let's go back to what were we talking about here? Why did I want to talk about Floyd Schofield? Pull, counter. Anyway, I don't remember. Let's get back to the film study. Predicting, right? He's just checking the line with a feint for no reason, right? He's not anticipating that any particular shot is going to come. He just wants to see what happens. But if he's not predicting that any kind of punch will happen, he just wants to see what happens, he's going to be susceptible to whatever comes back. Just like Tevin Farmer jumping on the line to see what happened. He's got that feint because he's a strong guy. He looks really fit. And when he jumps on the line and he feints you guys, you don't want to get countered. But if you know the guy's just going to go, when he does go, you just punch him right in the face. And that's exactly what winds up happening here. The guy's trying to feint and trying to get control of him. But every time he looks to get control of the line, beautiful work right there. And again, gives him something to work off of here. He's thrown a couple of lead hooks before, and then transitions into a spinning elbow. Man, that was almost move of the night right there, right? Gets back control of the line. And then his opponent tries to attack him off the lead hand. Again, can't even get close to him. The guy just has no idea how to get close to him. Jumping on there with a lead elbow. So you're going to control. Jumping, gets lead foot dominance. Boom, all the way close. Pretty crazy technique. Honestly, I wouldn't advise doing it like that myself. Boom. Now again, he pushes the guy off the line, gets good control of him. He's controlling the jab with his rear hand. Control, pushes him off the line, down, controls him with an upper elbow thing. And then look at the guy's guard, okay? If we imagine his guard, you can see that there's a massive gap here with where his hand is. It would be like right here. You can see his forearm is right here. There's almost nothing guarding the side of his head here. So even though he has his hand up, he actually does block this still, but there was a massive hole there for that follow-up to be able to catch him there. Hands down, but he's crossing the line. He has an active guard, moving, stepping around. He's not trying to challenge the guy and let the guy throw free punches. And then again, the guy's first contact move, not even close. Front foot, left side of the line, back foot, right side of the line. And then the guy goes to make an attack on him, and he just has to pull and get under. Now, pull countering a jab when you're on the back foot here and your opponent may be throwing a 1-2 later on in the fight, right? When it's not the first contact phase of the fight, right? They're looking to land second shots now. It's very dangerous to pull counter. So here he is kind of getting caught with a pull counter on the jab there. Even when it's ugly, he still winds up almost landing a shot. And then again, beautiful work here, catching the one, blocking the two, beautiful. Very, very, very important for the mechanics here. This is absolutely beautiful. He's ready to block, catch the jab, block the two. He's pulling, he's getting coiled, and then counters with a rear hand and just taps him and sits him down. Beautiful, beautiful boxing. And again, this is exactly what I want to be teaching. This is exactly what I want my guys doing. It's absolutely beautiful. Defending the line beautifully from all the obvious attacks. Very, very obvious. And this guy's exploding. Yeah! And then he has just no post-punch defense. He has no pull. He has no peel. And he just has no follow-ups there, right? Nothing. And then just gets sat down. And it's not the hardest shot, right? But the guy just jumped onto your line. As hard as he could. Boom. And he's out of position. Right? He already did the thing as best he could, and now he's getting interacted with, right? He didn't have any post-punch defense. Absolutely beautiful work there. Sits him down, and then we get into a little bit of dirty boxing strikes here. All right. Circling. And again, beautiful work coming in behind his jab here. The jab comes, double jab, and he gets under it here and is able to cross his line, steal a couple of shots. And again, the guy cannot stop him from crossing the line here, right? Front foot, back foot, makes it so obvious he's going to take the step. And as he takes that step, he gets lead foot dominance, gets under the line in case a jab comes as he's taking the step, and rolls under and lands a body shot and a follow-up. Nice little follow-up too, and I want you to pay attention to... And then he gets down here. Look at his weight transition to his left leg here. And then he peels, gets off the line. Even when he gets out of balance or off position, still great mechanics, right? And still able to follow his momentum off the line safely. Beautiful work, man. Great athlete, moving around really well. And again, same kind of trip, right? across the line, gets him to do a move, pulls. I think he thought it was going to be a jab, and he gets caught here, but almost gets him with a really, really good shot. I think it was a 1-2 kind of thing from Bashir. So good timing there. Control, pull, and again, he just can't get close to him here. He sees the lead hand control coming, gets on the line with the 1. He's controlling with the 2, or the 1 already. Here comes the 2. He's pulling just enough, and then still catching the follow-up shift. Beautiful work here off of the circling. Breaks into the rear hand, rolls, and then transitions his way to the next punch. Again, figuring out a way to chain things together. Walks the guy onto the line here, and again, the guy's always doing big, obvious pendulum steps, getting on the front foot very obviously for him. Excellent control of the lead hand there. Trying a little bit of that John Jones stuff, controlling the lead hand, and then as he comes in, goes with the elbow over the top. Pretty good, pretty good. Didn't land, but again, it also just continues to alienate Bashir from all of his other offense if he doesn't feel comfortable getting close to him. Now notice, he's moving away now. He doesn't want the lead hand control, right? Is he penduluming forward? He's circling, right? Gets controlled. He's about to take a step on the front foot, gets controlled, and then he crosses the line with this shot into another shot, into another shot. Beautiful. And again, front foot from Bashir, back foot, and as he takes a step on the front foot, Eurit's going to take a step onto the line, cross the line with that shot, and then just follow up. Beautiful work. Just dominating him on the line. Again, the guy just can't figure out his rhythm. He can't figure out his pace. And boom, 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 pushes him off the line. He controls space with punches, means he's not ready to go on this beat. Bop, bop, pull, boom, bodies up, and nearly gets a knockdown, right? It's a little goofy because he kind of like falls through the ropes. But again, the guy exerts himself, right? Boom, 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 pushes him off the line, exerts himself. 1, pull, 2, boom. He's falling off balance, right? Bop. Bumps into him with the shoulder counter, right? It's not the cleanest right there, but so far, beautiful work here, right? Beautiful work from him. I just want to point this out to you, Rowdy Gowdy. I don't know. Look at his eye here. Look at his eye. I just wanted to point that out to you. It's a little bit of something we talked about before. All right, getting back into it. And this round's going to end really quickly. Again, he's controlling space, sees the 2 coming, pull. He kind of does get tapped up a little bit of it, right? Boom, pull. He's pulling and then counter, counter. And again, the guy has no post-punch defense. He doesn't practice doing anything after his rear hands. A lot of guys who fall in love with their punching power will do that, who think they only know how to throw power one way, and they don't understand that when you fight a guy, you have to have post-punch defense. You're not just going to be able to throw your best shot at somebody and then just have them be afraid of it forever and have it always be effective. Pull, counter, excellent shot right there. Beautiful, beautiful work. Again, controlling the lead hand, controlling the lead hand. When he does break into the rear hand, it's really obvious to see, so he's able to break into his pull counter and then bam, counter, counter. Now, they're in a scramble here, right? Boom, they're in a scramble. First one to get to their feet and get... Boom. So he sacrifices his position to throw that left hook right here. Throw that other one. Boom, boom. Now he throws another left hook. Boom, 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 boom. And he's not countering. Now again, boom. There's a control of the space right there, right? And now boom, 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 boom. And now look at him trying to hold instead of strike here, right? He hasn't been able to get back to his base here. And then after he takes that beat, he's like, okay, you're not going to strike? Okay, I'm going to keep going here. Boom. And finishes him, right? It kind of just shows you that Bashir was overwhelmed. He couldn't find a way to get back to his base. He couldn't find a way to get back to a position where he could reset and control Eurit. And Eurit was still keeping his momentum going, right? He didn't lose any momentum. Boom, 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 boom. Control him. Keep the weight going. Boom. Excellent, excellent, excellent finish. He figured out exactly when to put pressure on him. Again, the guy doesn't pull, right? Notice every time Eurit would pull, he would get under a shot, and Bashir would be trying to stand up and pull away from them by going up the Mayweather way. And look at how many times he would get hit by combinations. It's just not a viable defense. It just doesn't work. Anyway, great job, Rowdy Gowdy. If you guys want to follow him, I don't know where you can follow him. Rowdy Gowdy MMA. Fantastic student, excellent power and speed himself. Great fighter, great attitude. Yeah, can't wait for you guys to see more of him in the future.